In this video, I'm going to explain how to calculate calorie intake to determine weight loss on your exercise program. I'm going to discuss basic concepts and terminology. I'm going to go through the formula, and then I'm going to do an example. So there's a lot to cover in 10 minutes, so bear with me. First, what is a calorie? Most people don't know what a calorie is. Big C calorie, the kind that we're concerned with when we're talking about food, specifically what it is the amount of energy needed to raise a kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. Now you don't need to know that much technical detail. All you need to know is that it's energy and that there's a relationship between calories and body fat. That relationship is, if you eat more calories than your body uses, then those calories will be stored as body fat. And if you use more energy than your calorie intake, your body will get that energy by burning your body fat. And the ratio here is 3,500 calories per pound of body fat. So the basic formula is you take your calorie intake and you subtract your calorie expenditure. So that's very simple. So if that's a calorie deficit, you'll be losing weight. Calorie expenditure refers to the calories that your body uses during exercise, as well as the calories that are used just to maintain your body. You're burning calories all the time, even when you're sleeping. So we have to calculate what's known as your resting metabolic rate. Your resting metabolic rate varies as a function of your weight, your muscle mass to body fat ratio, and your activity level. So more muscular people have a higher resting metabolic rate, and more active people have a higher metabolic rate. Your muscles actually can burn more calories. Your fat just sits there, but your muscles burn calories. And your muscles can actually, if you don't use them, go into a dormant state. So when you get active, it wakes up your muscles and they start burning more calories, and they'll continue in that active state for 24 hours or so. So you can activate your muscles to raise your resting metabolic rate. To determine your RMR, you take your body weight in pounds, multiply it by 10, and then adjust the number for your activity level using these guidelines here. So you have to sort of figure where you fit onto this scale and adjust the number here accordingly. So the RMR is the number of calories burned in a day without exercise. Now we have to know how to determine calories burned during exercise. Some cardio machines will tell you this when you do your workout, but you might have to calculate the calories you burn. So depending on the exercise you did, you'll have to look up how much calories are burned during that exercise. The amount of calories that you burn varies as a function of your weight. So I'll give you some examples. So you look up these numbers here. What you do is you multiply this constant by your body weight, and that gives you a rate of calories burned per hour. You might have to estimate the calories that you're going to burn, so you can do that by finding the most similar activity. But keep in mind, if you have to estimate the calories that you're burning, estimate low, because it's not too bad if you are burning more calories than you think you are. But it would be unfortunate if you thought you were burning calories, but you actually weren't. If you thought you were making progress, but you're actually not. So estimate low when you're estimating the calories burned. Calorie intake. Our calculation at the end of the day is only going to be as accurate as our estimates. So you can make this more accurate by keeping track of what you eat, checking labels, and looking up nutritional content online. And if you have to estimate calorie intake, estimate high, for the reason I discussed on the previous slide. Here are some examples of calories in different foods. This information is very easy to find online. And a Whopper has 650. That's not too bad depending on how active you are. Well, it's a lot of calories, but active people can handle that. So this is how the formula works, the more complicated version. So you calculate the calories burned on each day without exercise. You add all those up. and we're calculating for a period of a week here. Then you calculate the calories burned on the days with exercise. So you take your RMR plus the calories burned through exercise, and you subtract the total number here from the calories that you ate that entire week. So if the remaining number is negative, you have a calorie deficit, so that means you're losing weight. There's 3,500 calories in a pound, so you divide this number by 3,500 to calculate the expected weight loss in pounds. And you can multiply this number by 4 to get the expected weight loss after a month, or 8 after 2 months, or so on. But the larger the number you substitute in here, the less accurate this is going to be, because your body's going to be changing through this period. Your weight's going to be decreasing, or your muscle mass will be increasing. So you can calculate this again every 2 or 4 weeks or so. Healthy weight loss is about 2 pounds per week. So we can aim for a calorie deficit of 7,000 per week, or about 1,000 per day. So let's go into the example. There's this guy Joe. He weighs 200 pounds. He eats about 3,000 calories per day, and he walks for an hour Monday to Friday. So we'll call him moderately active for walking for an hour Monday to Friday. So Joe, first we want to calculate his RMR. So he weighs 200 pounds. Remember, to get RMR, you just multiply by 10. And then you adjust for activity level. We said he was moderately active, so that's a 50% increase. So Joe's RMR is 3,000. And now calories burned during exercise. Well, he said he walked, so the constant for that is 2.4. We multiply that by his body weight, 200. And what this gives us is the rate per hour that he's burning calories. And we multiply that by the amount of time that he exercises, which is 1 hour. So the result is 480. Okay, so the days during which he's exercising, Monday to Friday, so 5 days, multiplied by the calories burned on those days. That's his RMR, 3,000, plus the calories burned during exercise, 480. So 5 days of the week, he burns this many calories. And the remaining 2 days, he burns just his resting metabolic rate, which is 3,000. So the total number is 17,400. That's the 5 times 3480 plus 6,000. So you get a total of 23,400. So the calorie intake was 3,000 per day, so 7 days in a week. So the calorie intake is 21,000. And the calorie expenditure was this number here, 23,400. So he has a calorie deficit of negative 2,400. I go here, negative 2,400. Divide that by 3,500. That's 0.68. So Joe is losing 0.68 pounds every week. He could go a lot higher than that. But that's something at least. So Joe is going to be losing, multiply this by 8, he's losing 5.5 pounds after a 2-month period. So that's it. Questions, comments, criticisms, and suggestions are all appreciated. Thanks.